Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 9. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi. Hey, welcome back. Guess what? It's officially summer. Yeah. So now I get to talk about the joys of summer. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do like summer. Summer is fantastic. I like summer because, as you know, as a teacher, we get summers off. And for me, it's like, yay, because this was my first full week off after having, my regular teaching schedule off, but then working the camp for 2 weeks. So this was my first week off, and it felt pretty good. It was still kind of busy, but I could just imagine how much more busy it would have been if I had to teach. So even though it was a busy week, and I still feel like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that my first month out of my 2 months is already almost over. It was still a pretty nice week. So I am kind of settling into my summer. Yay. It feels good. It feels good out there. I've been sleeping in. I have a confession to make. There was one day where I did stay in my PJs like the entire day. I did not leave the house. I did shower and got right back in my PJs. I don't know what that says about me other than I know how to relax and do a lot of nothing. But anywho, I hope you guys have had a good past week. Mine's been pretty good overall. There's been some kind of sad moments. A close friend of the family's did pass away, and so we did attend that funeral, and it was bittersweet. It's sad because it is a life that's gone now, but it was a life well lived, and it was really good to see old friends and old people that you used to hang with. So it definitely was bittersweet. But it's been a pretty good last couple of weeks. I have a few things. Of course, you guys know my notes, but one of kind of the nice feelings of like that I experienced this last week. It's just a good feeling, and it fits perfectly with it being summer, and that's this. So when you are hot and thirsty, right? Whether you are just hot because you've been cleaning up inside your house all day and you worked up a sweat vacuuming, or whether you're hot because you've been outside at a nature field trip with some kids, whatever reason that you are hot and you are either perspiring or borderline sweating, one of the best feelings in the world is drinking a nice cold, like getting a nice cold swig of water. And then when you drink the water, and when your body's hot and when the water is cold, it's like you can feel its journey from your mouth to your throat down to your belly. Like you can feel it, and you can just feel the cool refreshingness just kind of like spread through your body. Yeah, that is one of the best feelings. And that's a good summer feeling right there, which is kind of funny because in the reverse, when it's cold outside and you get like a nice mug of hot chocolate or apple cider. Okay, I'll save that for winter. But yes, I just wrote that down, like drinking that nice cold swig of ice water, of just really cold water, or lemonade. I really do like lemonade. The thing about lemonade though, man, I can drink a whole cup of that and still want more. It is so good, but I drink it super sweet. Like I add lots of sugar to my lemonade. I prefer it more sweet than bitter. I don't know, some friends like the bitterness, but honestly, the sweeter it is, the better. Regular lemonade, pink lemonade, those are my go-tos, especially in the summer. Like they are, I think, either right next to like how good water tastes when you're, hot and thirsty, or even sometimes slightly above. Yeah, sometimes lemonade is a little better than water, but I don't know. Water is it has a crisp kind of taste when you need it. Anywho, but Yeah, so it's been a good last couple of weeks. Like I mentioned, I did have the opportunity to go on a field trip with some of my kids. We went to a forest, which is, it's fine. I'm not a huge nature-esque person, but I guess as long as I'm around people who know where to go and to keep me on the trail, it's not too bad. As long as you guys know I'm not a bug person, and being out in the woods, I try to put on my brave front. Like being the teacher, I was like, okay, you have to be brave. There was one time there was a kid, the trip that happened a couple weeks ago. The kid, he had, I don't know, some bug on his shirt, a bug. And I was like, okay, you're the teacher. You need to take care, you need to take care of this. And I was like, okay. And so I did brush the bug off. I was like, oh, you just had a bug on you. But y'all, it took a lot. And speaking of bugs, I had an experience this past week that y'all, I, so you know how drinking water on a hot, thirsty day is one of the best experiences you can have. Let me tell you, on the flip side of that, one of the creepiest and worst experiences is when, so if you have a cat, if you've ever had a cat, first off, cats are amazing. They're so much fun. They can be a little annoying. There's been times where I've had to pause the podcast or restart when I've recorded, or had to edit out my cat, he'll either like come in and start meowing randomly and I'm like, no, or he will start like playing with a box or something nearby and you can hear it in the background. So that part of it can be a little bit of annoying. But of course, I love cats. I'm a cat person. In fact, I'll have to tell you guys in just a minute. Once I finish this story, I'll tell you guys about my visit to the cat, oh, what's it called? Like a cat cafe. Yeah, that's the word. But anyway, so this experience, I was just in my room. Actually, I was wrapping up praying. I had just finished praying, so I was, on the ground, when I noticed my cat staring at my chair. Not the chair near me, like a chair across from me. And I was like, maybe he's just looking at something invisible. Like, surely, nothing's there. I looked at the chair, nothing seemed to be there. Well, he, I guess, got distracted. And then next thing I know, he's staring at it again. And then he kind of like lunges at it a little bit, like with his paws, but then stops and stares. And I see his little tail kind of wagging back and forth. And I'm like, oh no, what could this mean? So I stopped my prayer. Like I said, it was towards the end. I was like, God, we got to investigate this. And so I go to my chair and he is just intently looking at the cushion. And I was like, I don't see anything. And then I thought I saw just a flicker of movement. You guys, I know this is the scary story. No, so I lift up the cushion and like even now, I'm like, oh my gosh. So, and very quickly I saw kind of the movement of these little legs. It was, those, they're kind of like centipede looking things, like these, I don't know what they're called. They're not centipedes. They have a lot of legs, but they're not as long as centipedes. You guys, I'm grossing myself out now talking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can still picture it. Well, I lifted the cushion and it like it scurried and it like fell to the floor. And when I say I like leapt and jumped and screamed and like one of those, I was like, oh my gosh, there is a bug. Which, you guys, up to this moment, the only bug I have ever seen in my room where I like hang out and pray in my office has been like a spider on the window. We've lived in our house for 2 years now, and I just have been blessed to not see a bug. And so I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So I ran to go get the bug spray, good old Raid, which I say good old Raid. It used to be good old Raid. Now, the only way you kill the bug is if you drown it. It used to be, you spritz the air and that bug was dead. But anyway, so I grabbed the Raid and I spray like underneath the chair, over the chair, in between the chair, all around the chair. And the thing is, you guys, I could not find where the little creature went. Okay. And I'm freaking out just a little bit. At this point, I was like, God, prayer. is far from my mind other than help me find this bug. And in my room, I have this really like fuzzy carpet, kind of like old school, kind of, I'm not going to call it a shag, but it's kind of like a fuzzy carpet. And I was like, if it landed in the carpet, I'm done for because I will never find the thing. And so I spray everywhere and I'm like, okay, well, hopefully just the smell of the bug spray will kill the thing and we'll be okay. And so I kind of I don't go back to the floor. I go back to sit on my chase and I'm like, okay, maybe I can focus on praying again. I'm so distracted. I'm just trying to wrap it up. But I'm like, okay, let's see. Well, my cat, he has left with all the commotion. He comes back in. Y'all, I kid you not. Within 2 or 3 minutes, I have 2 chairs in my room. He goes, well, okay, I got a few more chairs, but 2 that look alike. And he goes to the other chair and he starts that staring thing again. And I'm like, no way, no way. And he is staring underneath the chair. So the original little bug made it underneath the second chair that was right next to the first chair. And I saw it again. And so I had kept the bug spray in the room, like right next to me, because I knew just in case I saw it. And I sprayed the thing and I got it this time. I could see it and I sprayed it and I drowned the thing. I mean, first off, it took him forever to stop moving. That's how I'm like, Raid, what happened? He used to be amazing. But I drowned that bug in that bug spray. And I am like, are there more? Was that the same one? I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, and after that, y'all, I had to clean everything. Like, I vacuumed the floor. I vacuumed my little shag rug. I didn't care if I ripped up, like, half the little, like, fuzzy, shaggy part. I was like, no, there's nothing going to be caught in here. And I moved my chairs. I lifted up the cushions. Because, I mean, how can you have peace knowing that there could be a bug in there? So I think I got it. And once I killed the thing, it took me forever to pick it up. One thing I am terrible at is after I kill the bug, I don't want to pick it up. I don't want to feel it. Like, I don't want to feel it between, like, the paper towels or anything. So I actually went and I got rubber gloves and a paper towel. And I double wadded that thing and I grabbed the bug and I threw it away. And then, the cat's still in there. The cat, I think he might have left and came back in, or he had stayed in there. And he's sniffing around, and then he chills. He lays down, nothing's catching his eye, and he falls asleep. And I'm like, okay, I think we're okay. But y'all, it's been a couple more vacuums and a couple more cleans, and I'm like, are we good? Are we still good? I'm still a little nervous, but I think we're okay now. But I mean, I'm very thankful for my cat for recognizing that. But y'all, if you have a cat and you've been there, you know how it is when they look at something and you're like, I really hope it's something invisible and not something I'm going to have to deal with. It's nice. I am glad he notices because I wouldn't want to find it on my own. So I'm definitely glad that he noticed and brought it to my attention. I think eventually he would have caught it, though. I have seen him catch a bug and eat it, so I think he would have perhaps saved me a little bit, if I had not been in there. But I am glad that he noticed, as creepy as it was to be like, okay, what are you looking at? What am I going to have to deal with? I'm glad that we dealt with it. But yeah, so speaking of cats, this last week, my stepdaughter and I were able to go to the cat cafe, and it was her idea, which I love. But I mean, we've talked about it before, but she was like, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, yes. I mean, I love that kind of spontaneous, like, let's go, let's just go tomorrow. And so we did, and we were able to go, and the lady let us know that they, just that week before, had gotten like a whole litter of kittens. So there was probably, I think she said between 12 to 16 kittens they had gotten. And so the room was just full of little kittens and they were so stinking cute. I think I'm going to have to add a couple of pictures of them on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I have a couple pictures of them. At least there's this one gray one that was a doll baby. It was so precious with its pretty little, just like its coloring was beautiful and its eyes were so cute. And you guys know kittens, like they have the big cute eyes and big ears anyway. Fell in love. And then of course my daughter, she fell in love with one of them and wanted to adopt it that day. Luckily the adults in her life were like, hold on, let's just wait. But she did find like an orange tabby that was so cute and cuddly. And there was one that was wild and would meow and hiss at every cat that came near it and would claw literally everything, like claw the humans, claw the furniture, claw at other cats. She would claw at everything. And so it was just fun and cute to see the different kitty personalities and things like that. In fact, if you just heard a bell, that was my cat walking nearby, and he shook himself. And so, yeah, it was pretty fun. You go in there and you can stay. It's a 50-minute thing, and believe it or not, that 50 minutes it went kind of quick. I mean, there was enough cats and like little toys to play with them that it went pretty quick, and it was fun, and it was cuddly, and I enjoyed it. It was awesome. I will say it was funny because we went on a Wednesday, and that night it was going to be my first time speaking at my church to all the ladies on a Wednesday for like a full teaching lesson. And so I was feeling quite anxious, not in like a bad way, more like just the anxious you get when you're like excited and your nerves are just like, I can't wait to do this. And you're like, this is my first time. Like, I trust that it will go well, but you never know. And so, going to see the little kitties was actually a good move, like a good way to distract myself during the day, before doing that night. But speaking of that, I was able to speak to our ladies at church that night, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. You guys know I love to talk, right? I mean, I have a podcast, so I definitely love to talk. But being able to kind of share just things that I feel like God had put on my heart based on a book that we had been reading and things we had been learning about different women of the Bible. It was so much fun to be able to do that, and I can't wait to do it again. But yeah, so I said all that to say that was awesome and fun, but it was also great that we got to see the kittens to help kind of distract me and like not comfort me, but I don't know, just have something like help with that anxiety piece to go down a little bit. But then actually to do it that Wednesday night, and it went really well, I believe. At least I think so. I hope so. I hope it went well. And to do that all on that day. So it's been a pretty eventful week. It's been, honestly, like I said, quite the busy week, but great overall. So once again, this is kind of funny. I didn't intend to, you guys know how I guess sometimes I have, topics, not really topics, but things that I think a lot about. And so I was talking about cats and animals and things, but the next I was looking at my notes, and apparently I was also thinking about how some animal names are very fitting. And what made me think of that is I was scrolling through my Instagram, and I had come across, it was a quick reel or a post or something about a Doberman, and its name was Diesel. And I was like, that name is so fitting for a Doberman. Like, I can picture a Doberman named Diesel, where like, imagine a Doberman named like Daisy. You're like, I don't know if that's quite the fit. I mean, maybe for a girl Doberman, but like, just, it's cute how names of animals can definitely fit. Now, my cat, I don't think his name quite fits. He's named King Leonidas Alexander. I call him King Leo, oftentimes just Leo or my baby. But I like it when animal names can fit, like when you have a buddy named Fluffy or something like that. Like it's cute, but the Doberman named Diesel, I was like, how appropriate. And I mean, I don't know if that Doberman is like, hardcore as it, maybe it could be a very soft-hearted Doberman, but I definitely think that its name is quite fitting. But also sometimes names can be like intentionally unfitting. Like, imagine if you had a huge dog, you named him Tiny or things like that. Like, I like that too. I think that's cute too when it comes to names and stuff of animals. But anyway, so again, like I said, apparently animals. This week has just been animals, because I wrote down that one of the cool experiences that I had this past week was flying. I wasn't flying. I was driving beneath a big bird that was flying. And I know it sounds like, well, what do you mean? You have to picture it. So just like a picture a road in front of you, okay? And then picture you just driving on that road. And then looking forward, there's a bird that's flying like the same direction you're going. And so you're almost directly underneath it, but it's flying like in the same direction you're going, so you can see its wings. And then imagine that it's not just a little bird, but it's a big bird. I don't know what kind of bird it was. I don't want to call it majestic because I think we have a lot of vultures around honestly. But it might have been like a hawk or something, or some type of bird. But I just so happened to be driving in the same direction it was flying, and I was almost directly underneath it. And that was really cool. Like, I guess you don't often think about, like, a lot of times when you're driving and you see a bird flying, it goes like across, like it goes from left to right. You just see it going across, you see it go up. But this time, to be going in the same direction as it, and then for it to be as big and kind of majestic as it felt, it was really kind of cool to see. It felt like I was in a movie, like I was the one in a movie in some type of cinegraphic. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you're talking about like cinematography or something. Anywho, it felt pretty cool, like it could be a movie. And I liked that. I feel like that could also be, I don't know, I would say a picture, but a picture couldn't capture that kind of feeling of going in that same direction as the bird. So I don't know. I just thought that was pretty nifty. I really liked that that kind of moment of being like directly underneath the bird while it was flying. But anywho, so I think that's my last thing with animals. I'm pretty sure that is. But it's kind of funny. So hey, we're just going to keep it rolling. Since we're talking about driving, one of the things that I do not like about driving, for the most part, I enjoy driving. You can think if you want to think. You can, it's time for you to like listen to podcasts, jam to music. I honestly, that time in your car can sometimes be the most relieving time because you are doing an action, like you are moving towards something, but you also are getting a little bit of time to yourself. So driving itself is pretty cool. But one of the feelings I do not like about driving is to get to my work, there's a light that I always hit where it's a delayed left turn. And I don't understand exactly how delayed left turns work other than it don't go when you want it to. And so this one is one that the light will turn green for everybody to go straight for like 3 minutes. I was going to say 10 minutes, but realistically like 3 minutes or something. And then it will turn the left green. But sometimes it'll even go to like the next rotation and then it'll come back around. But it's, of course, yes, that's annoying. But that's not the hard part. The hard part is when you're first in line to do that left and there's people behind you. And when you've been sitting at that light where it's red, but no one's coming and everything is green and it says delayed left turn, and you can just feel the pressure building behind you that people want you to turn left. Because I've been at that light before and a lot of people actually run the red left light. Like they'll see nobody's coming and they'll just go. I'm telling you, it's one of those really long ones. Like I almost cannot blame them. And I mean, and I've been at that light before where people have gone around me to go left. Like like legit. That's how impatient people are on that light. But honestly, it will test your patience because it is so long. But so the pressure of being first, if I'm like second or third, it's fine. Like, and I hope they don't feel pressure from me. But if I'm first and I know that like no cars are coming and we're just sitting there, I'm like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go because I'm not going to break the law. But I can just feel like them wanting me to go, like, just the pressure sometimes of driving, of other drivers, which you don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. They could be perfectly fine, just like I am. But I get that pressure sometimes and anxiety. Like, I do not know why, but anxiety will randomly build up there. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, I cannot. Sometimes it's like that, but yeah, it is what it is, right? It's kind of another thing that I was thinking about. Y'all, I've been thinking about a lot, and you guys know how I mentioned this past week was busy. and I was on my computer and I had 5,000,001 tabs open. And I know that hurts some of you guys. I It's kind of funny because I was thinking, I think the tabs, like open tabs on my computer, reflect like what my brain is doing. If I have a lot of tabs open in my computer, I think it's because my brain is going in so many directions, and I don't close them out because I'm not finished with that, but I have to move on to the next thing. And I think it's like a representation of my brain in the moment, because you all, my brain truly has been everywhere lately. Like, I have been so scattered. Like, there's just been a lot of things to think about this last week, and even in these next few weeks that are coming, and it's just been everywhere. And so I feel like I have so many tabs open in my brain, and I want to just X them all out, but I can't, because I'm like, I have to remember to do that. I have to remember to do that. But I just thought it was kind of interesting in some ways that I was like, I think my computer legit is like a reflection of what's actually going on in my head, of all the tabs open. And I have to admit, one of those satisfying feelings is when you've like kind of overwhelmed even yourself to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna exit out of all the tabs, every single one of them. We're done. We're gone. I like that feeling of being able to do that. Of like, it's kind of satisfying. You're like, whether I forget or not, or whether I'm finished or not, or I'll just open it back up when I'm ready to address it again, and then shutting it all down, and it's like, whew, okay, that's a very good and satisfying feeling, as my students would say. They love the word satisfying. So yes, that would be one of those satisfying feelings. And y'all, so I have on here to brag on God, and then to talk about crumble cookie. So, I have something I'm about to preach, okay? I'm gonna preach about crumble cookie. So you guys, I am so excited. You know how I love cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies. I love your basic cookie. And honestly, I think it was episode 1 maybe that I talked about how crumble cookie has been my thing lately. I absolutely love crumble cookie. It is part of my terrible temptations of trying to eat healthy. I have been doing better this week. I've actually done really well this week of eating healthy. But it came up. So I got a message that was like, a crumble cookie is opening near you. Now here's the thing. I have known that there was supposed to be a crumble cookie opening near me for the last 2 years. When we first moved in a couple years ago, I think, I guess 2021. Yeah, I had seen a post that a crumble cookie was coming near, and I was so excited because you guys know I love crumble cookie. And so I had been looking forward to it since then and checking up on it and everything. And y'all, I've checked up and nothing, since the original, I guess kind of message that said it was going to be there, whatever article I had read, I didn't see anything new. I checked last year, I checked this year. Every few months I would think about it again, and I would check, and it would just seem like there was nothing in the works. Nothing was new. I didn't drive over there, but I drove, I think, nearby, and I didn't see any signs. Absolutely, seriously, not a thing did I see that it was opening. And I honestly had given up on it. Maybe a month ago, I was like, I guess they're really not going to make one. It's been 2 years. I hadn't heard anything, hadn't seen anything, didn't see any construction, hadn't seen any pink and white crumble cookie signs. I just gave up on it. And then a week ago, I got the email, I got the message, a crumble cookie is coming near you. And get this, you guys, it said, and it's opening in 1 week. I was like, what? Are you trying to tell me that this crumble cookie that I've been trying to check up on, that I have been looking forward to, that I had actually given up on, is really in existence, and it's coming in 1 week's time? I was like, oh, that'll preach. I mean, you want to talk about things getting work done in the dark when you can't see, when there hasn't been, any evidence of anything being done. And then all of a sudden you open your eyes and it's like, it's actually coming. It is right around the corner. Okay. I mean, I've heard like, God works in the dark. He works behind the scenes and brings it to light. Like you can't, trust God when you can't track him type stuff. But I mean, if nothing else, I was like, okay, Crumble Cookie, this is one of those times where those kind of natural things that happen in life make you think about how God works. Okay, amen. So let me go ahead and encourage you. If there's a situation, it may have been a couple years, and you keep checking back in, and nothing seems to be changing, and nothing seems to be happening, and there doesn't seem to be any good news, just wait, okay? It will pop up, and then next thing you know, it is right around the corner, and you're like, what? I was looking for this and trying to find evidence of this, and now it's here? Okay. God can work like that. He can work in mysterious ways. But for real though, I am so excited about that crumble cookie opening up. Like I said, it's not going to be good for me, okay? Because the other crumble cookie that I usually go to, it's not necessarily close. And so it's good because I have to actively make a trip out there. You guys, this crumble cookie, I mean, it's close. I mean, it's like almost on my way home from work. This is bad news. And you guys, it's like right near the Panera. The one I've been talking about, the one I've been going to. Oh, bad news, you guys. Oh my. Oh, but that reminds me. So the last time I went to Crumble Cookie, like literally just this last week, I went. And whenever I go, I have to get like the 4 cookies. If you've ever been, you can get 1 cookie for like $5. Or you can get 4 cookie for like $13. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and get the 4 cookies for the $13. And I did. And I made it to I think it's like once you get 200 points on there, you get $10 off. All right now, okay, I am ready. The only reason I haven't gone yet is because, well, one, I'm trying to eat healthy. In preparation, I do plan to go on vacation here soon. So I'm trying to eat healthy and so I can be, as nice looking as I can on vacation and so I can eat hard on vacation. But 2, because I'm waiting for like the flavor that I want. Because I've tried so many and they're all really good. I love their basic chocolate chip cookie. I like their chocolate chip caramel cookie. That one is pretty amazing as well. Oh, hold on. The chocolate chip caramel. Look, you guys, we're talking about that chocolate chip caramel. We're going to let's put a sticky on that. We're going to come back to that. A sticky note. Like we're going to come back to that because that is definitely part of my food segment this week. A restaurant that I went to and food that I had. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute, but let me finish my the cookies. So I like the chocolate chip cookie. I like the chocolate chip caramel cookie. And I really like the ones where they're like, it's the like cornbread cookie. That one's really good. And they have kind of variations of that one. So I really like those. And then of course I like their like chocolatey brownie type. Those are pretty good too. But one of the best ones I had there that I have been on the lookout and I have not seen it since last year has been, it's like the banana pudding cookie. They've had a banana bread type cookie, but it was the banana pudding cookie that was so good. I mean, I love the flavor of banana and things. I like it in candy. I like bananas themselves. I really like the flavor of banana, the sweetness. You guys know I have a sweet tooth. And so the banana pudding cookie, it was the perfect combination of like banana cookie, but they had like real sliced bananas on top with also the vanilla wafers on there. Oh, you guys, I'm telling you, if you do not have a crumble cookie near you, find something like it. I don't know what to tell you. Search it, Google it, find your nearest one, and you gotta try them because they have their flavors they're your regular cookie flavors, but then they do something different. Like they have like a waffle cookie, or they'll have like the maple syrup and pancake cookie. I know, like it's so good. And so and this week's flavors, they are good flavors, but I just got the 4 last week. So I'm giving myself a little bit of break, but I am keeping my eye out for that banana pudding flavored cookie because that one, oh y'all, it's so good. But since we're on the subject of food, let me go ahead and talk about my food segment of the week, and that is this. All right, so my for Father's Day, my family and I, we went to Malone's. Okay, and I think it's kind of like a steakhouse type place. I'm terrible. I think it is a steakhouse type place. I don't eat. I mean, I can eat steak, but I never choose steak because I'm just not a steak person. But we went there, and I ordered the blackened mahi mahi with sweet potato mash. Oh, you guys. I mean, I don't know if I have felt this good about mentioning a food segment since like episode 1 where I talked about Paula Deen's. You guys, if this is your first episode and you haven't heard the Paula Deen ones, go back and listen to my review of that Paula Deen's. So good, so good. Or I don't remember if I talked about the Whistle Stop. I think I did. But anyway, so those are really good. Y'all, this is another good one. I got the blackened mahi mahi, which is a type of fish, and they seasoned it so well. I mean, it's seasoned very well, and they put it on top of sweet potato mash, and it's just good. The sweet potato, and like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the right consistency. Like, it's not too thick without also not being too kind of mushy, but like just the right amount of mush, the right amount of mash, right? With the flavoring and on top of it. So there's the sweet potato mash, and then on top of that is the like perfectly seared or grilled or however they make it blackened mahi mahi, and on top of that is this crab, like just like a crab. I don't know, like a crab something that goes on top of it, and it's not fake crab, you guys. I mean, and I can eat fake crab. I know some people can't. They're like, it's gotta be real because the imitation crab isn't good. Y'all, it's not the imitation crab. It's like the real fluffy white crab on top of that, and it drizzled with some type of just sauce or something that sinks in from the crab down to the blackened mahi mahi, where it sinks into the sweet potato mash, right? And it's just a little bit on the, I don't want to call it greasy, but like the saucy side. You all, it was so good and like flavorful. And I'm a fish person. I do like fish. Not all of it. Like, I'm not a huge shrimp person or a lobster person, but I love crab, and I like sea bass. That's another good one. But this one, you guys, I was so impressed. It was so very good, and it hit the spot. It was just amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to Malone's, head to Malone's, go there. It is so good. But even if you don't, find somewhere where you can get that fish on top of that sweet potato mash. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but that was a magnificent combination of food right there. So then we had to wrap it up, and we got the like chocolate chip with salted caramel cookie. And you guys, you know I love my crumble cookie. Those are big and thick. No, this is like, make a circle with your fingers, with your, your thumb and your pointer finger. Make a circle with both hands and your fingers. And it's about that big. Well, extend it a little bit, depending how big your hands are. Extend a little bit. It's like that big and like an inch thick, like an inch high. And they bring it out where it's already warmed up. And so the chocolate is melting, the caramel is melting, and there's not too much salt. Because sometimes with the salted caramel stuff, it can be like too salty. No, it's like lightly salted, so just enough salt. And then they also bring ice cream with it. Now, sometimes ice cream messes with my stomach, so I do put it to the side. But that perfect combination of warm, soft, gooey, chocolatey, caramely with a hint of salt cookie, with that cold, with like the chocolate and caramel drizzled on top, but kind of like, because it's cold, they've hardened. And if you take like that slice of the cookie, because you have to like scoop it with your spoon, with like a scoop of the cold ice cream, y'all, that's how you know that there is a God. He exists, because that is heaven right there. And it was so good. And it was perfect after that lovely blackened mahi mahi. You guys, I think I'm gonna have to go back. I've got dinner planned with some friends next week, and we haven't picked a place yet. I might have to be like, I'm ready to go back to Malone's because I'm ready for that blackened mahi mahi and that salted caramel chocolate chip cookie. So good. So that's my that's my food segment. I don't mean to have food segments every time. I mean, it is fun. Like, I do think food. You can't go wrong talking about food. And you can't go wrong talking about music or anything like that. Those are like the best of the best, but man, some weeks I can really talk about it. And this just happened to be one of those weeks because um that Malone's was just so very good. Anywho, but I'm actually about to wrap up here, but just a couple more things that I wanted to just to throw out there, to kind of like end on a nice lighthearted note. Um, summer rain. Okay, so you guys know I love the spring stuff. I love, the breeze of spring, opening up your windows in spring and things like that. And just another one of those great things is a summer rain. I love the smell of summer rain. I love the look of summer rain because like cold winter has a lot of good things going for it, but winter rain, that's not fun. No, that's miserable. That's called ice, okay? But a summer rain where it's warm out there, like the rain cools it down. Oh, it's great. It is so great. And it's even better when you can sit on your back porch or your front porch or just anywhere, even inside your house and just looking out, maybe with the window open and the rain's just coming down. And I love it because the days are longer, it's still kind of, light outside. And I love being able to look outside when it's light outside and it's raining. Like seeing the rain, like seeing it approaching or just seeing it rain is so pretty. And I love like the sound of it. Some people like the sound of it on metal roofs. My husband's one of those who's like, I wish we got a metal roof. I love the sound of it. I personally do not. I know. Like, people are like, what? Rain, the sound of rain. No, I like the sound of rain over like a field or over pavement, but not on a metal roof. That to me is, I don't like the sound of that. But just the sound of rain and then the smell of rain and the feel of rain, kind of like that dampness, but you're not cold. And I know very quickly it can turn to humid, and especially if it's super hot, and then you're like, and that part's not quite as fun. But just that initial rain, that the kind that you're looking forward to because it's been hot or something and it cools it down, it is so refreshing and just so nice. And I had to throw that out there. And lastly, just kind of the same lines of refreshing and nice, sort of an overlooked group of people I want to talk about are our elders. So I mentioned earlier that I had the opportunity to speak to the ladies of our church on a Wednesday night, just to teach and to speak. And when looking through the sea of faces and the audiences, I would have to say most of my support, and by that I mean most of the women who were nodding and smiling and looking like they were enjoying themselves or being supportive or like listening to the things I was saying, was the elder women. And it was so encouraging because these are women who've been around, they've lived a long time. And as a young person, in my 30s, what do I have to teach them? What do I have to show them? But I don't think it was about that. I think they were nodding just in agreement, nodding in with like, you're on the right track. Yes, this is right. Either because they've lived it or they know it, or, it was supportive and it was good. And I was like, honestly, out of all the women there and everyone, my church, we were super supportive. Like all the ladies there are so kind. My pastor's wife often mentions how, if you're going to step out in your ministry, that our group of ladies are kind of one of the best group of ladies you could do that with because they are so supportive and so kind, and just so like welcoming and warm to that. And that's true of all of them. But just kind of like a special group that stuck out to me this last one were our elder women. And I mean, I was just so appreciative of their support, of their nods, of their smiles, of them being involved. I mean, it was so cool. And something I've thought before is that, we like don't, I know I don't, at least I'm guilty of not interacting with elders and elderly in our community as much, whether it's, at church or out and about. They have so much to offer, and they've lived so much and have so much a part of their life, like to give, or even just to be interested in. I don't know how, but I I I have to find a way. I want to think about, and if you guys have a way, think of it too, to where I can just maybe, I don't know, like somehow tap into that, get into that, just so they'll know how I'm appreciated. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll write them. I think one of the things I talked about Wednesday is, your words are powerful. And so you can speak those words, you can write those words. Maybe I'll write something to like an elderly person and give it to them. And see how that goes. Because honestly, I really appreciated them on Wednesday, and just like I know that that wasn't just the one time, they've done that before. So I kind of wanted to, I guess, just throw that out there. I want to end on that note that, sort of sometimes our forgotten people are those who've been around a long time. But we should take some time to kind of really see them and remember that they have amazing stories, and they know so much, and that honestly, I think they're there to help us, and they're willing to help us, and they're willing to support us. And so shout out to all the seasoned people of life, those who've lived a long time, who have things to offer. We appreciate you. I appreciate you, honestly, and you are so valuable, and you are so necessary and needed in our world and in society, and in any community that you are in, whether it's a church community or just your neighborhood or in your city or wherever. You are needed, and you are valuable, and we look up to you. So thank you to any elderly out there who might randomly just be listening to the podcast or what have you, or if you yourself know someone around you, whether it's like a grandparent or just an older person that you are around, someone you work with or someone you see, man, find a way to express some appreciation to them, like just because, and don't say it's because you're old, even though honestly these days to become older is such a blessing and a privilege. Because I had mentioned before that, we had recently experienced a loss, and he was a young man, just in his 40s. And so, to even reach an elderly age it's a blessing, and it's a privilege. And so for those who have, that is amazing. That's awesome. And, and I just hope I can get there and be like those women who were at my church, and be supportive of the younger folks there. So yeah, that's all I got for now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in every other week. I so much appreciate your support. I appreciate those who have left comments or who have left reviews. I appreciate my 5-star ratings, and thank you for that. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you for the likes on Instagram and things like that. I greatly appreciate it. I'm still, once again, just amazed that people even choose to listen. So I appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.